Tonight, just after the sun sets, look toward the west. You will see her hanging there, quietly waiting for you to notice. The brightest light in the sky, brighter than every star, brighter than anything except the moon itself. For 4,000 years, we have called her beautiful. We have called her the evening star. We have called her the goddess of love. But she is none of those things. She is something far worse than anything we have ever named in our oldest myths. She is a corpse the size of Earth, a planet that boiled itself alive 4 billion years ago. And she is still burning right now as you breathe. Her name is Venus, and the closer you look at her, the worse she gets. The more you learn, the less you will sleep tonight. 3 billion years ago, Venus was not hell. She was paradise, the same size as Earth, the same gravity, the same blue oceans. If you had stood on Venus back then, you might have seen waves crashing on shores no human will ever walk again. Maybe even small life just beginning to stir in the warm water. A second Earth, hidden in plain sight, only a few million miles away. And then, somewhere in the deep past, something happened to her. Scientists call it the runaway greenhouse effect. It is a tipping point where a planet's atmosphere traps so much heat that the oceans themselves begin to boil away into the sky. And once they start to boil, they never stop. The water vapor traps more heat, which boils more water, which traps more heat. A death spiral that nothing in the universe can reverse once it has started. Not even time itself can undo what comes next. In a geological blink, the blue oceans of Venus evaporated. The solar wind ripped that water away, atom by atom, into deep space until there was nothing left. Venus did not die a slow death. Venus was murdered by her own atmosphere, choking on her own air. Today, if you were teleported to her surface, you would not burn to death. You would not have the time to. The first thing that would kill you is not the heat. It is the weight of the sky itself, crushing you from every direction at once. The pressure on Venus is 92 times stronger than Earth's. The same pressure you would feel 1 kilometer beneath the ocean. Your ribcage would collapse before your brain could register what was happening. Your eardrums would rupture in the same instant, and then, only then, the heat would arrive. 860 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead in seconds. At that temperature, your skin would not blister or burn. It would liquefy and slide off your bones like wax dripping down a candle. The entire process would take less than 1 full second, and that is Venus on a calm afternoon when nothing is happening. Between 1961 and 1984, the Soviet Union sent 16 probes to Venus. Most of them died before they ever touched the ground. The ones that survived lasted 23 minutes, then 53, then 127 at the absolute maximum. After that, the cameras melted, the metal hulls collapsed inward, and the planet swallowed them in total radio silence. But in March of 1982, something happened on Venus that has haunted scientists ever since the data first came back home. A Soviet lander called Venera 13 touched down on the surface, deployed a microphone, and recorded the first sound from another world. What came back was not silence. It was a low, mechanical roar, the sound of an atmosphere thick enough to flow like syrup, and underneath it all, sharp metallic clicks that no one has ever been able to fully explain to this very day. The recording still exists. You can find it online. It is the most unsettling thing humanity has ever heard from another planet. Venus is closer to Earth than Mars, closer than any other world, and yet we have only 4 photographs from her surface. Just 4, in over 60 years of trying. It is almost as if the planet does not want us looking too closely at what is down there. And there is one more thing about Venus that almost nobody mentions. She rotates backwards. The only planet in our solar system that does. Something in the deep past, hit Venus so hard that it reversed her spin entirely. We have no idea what it was. We just know it happened. The ground on Venus glows in the dark, not from sunlight. The rocks themselves emit a dim, hellish orange light from the heat. They are so unbelievably hot that they radiate visible energy directly into the air, like a furnace running for 4 billion years. There is no day on Venus. There is no night either. Just a permanent, sickly yellow twilight that has lasted longer than complex life. And then there is the wind. At the surface, the wind crawls, slower than you walk to your kitchen, thick like pouring syrup. But high up in the clouds, that same atmosphere moves at 300 miles per hour, faster than the planet itself can rotate. Venus is the only world in our solar system where the sky moves faster than the ground beneath it. The clouds are running, racing across a dead yellow sky at hurricane speeds, as if something underneath them is too terrible for them to stay near. And those clouds are not water. They are not ice. They are made of pure, concentrated sulfuric acid like a car battery. The same acid that eats through human flesh on contact, dissolving skin and bone into a hissing puddle within seconds. And it rains on Venus. Constantly. A planet-wide downpour of chemical death that has been falling for 4 billion straight years. But here is the part that breaks your mind. The rain on Venus never reaches the ground. It evaporates miles above the surface. Then, it rises back into the clouds and falls all over again. Forever. A closed loop of chemical torture with no exit and no end. Earth has the same chemicals in its atmosphere that Venus does. Carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, just in different amounts. NASA scientists call it the Venus syndrome. It is a real mathematical possibility that haunts every climate model in existence today. In December of 1978, NASA sent 4 probes down into the Venusian atmosphere. Every system was tested and rated for hell, and every single one of them experienced something that NASA cannot explain to this day, almost 50 years after the mission ended. At an altitude of exactly 12.5 kilometers above the surface, all 4 probes suffered the same electrical anomaly. Instruments malfunctioned, signals warped, critical data was lost. All 4 spacecraft at the same height at the exact same moment. 15 years later, in 1993, NASA convened a special workshop at Ames Research Center just to figure out what had happened. The official report is publicly available online. The conclusion, after 15 years of careful analysis, is that the cause remains unexplained. Something, at a specific altitude, above Venus, interfered with 4 American spacecraft at the exact same time. We still do not know what it was. In July of 2024, astronomers at Cardiff University announced they had detected 2 strange gases in the upper clouds of Venus, phosphine and ammonia. On Earth, both are produced almost exclusively by living organisms, specifically anaerobic bacteria, tiny microbes that thrive in places where oxygen would kill them instantly. Both gases were found 50 kilometers above the surface, in a narrow band of atmosphere where the temperature is almost Earth-like, the only place on Venus where something could be alive. The discovery was independently confirmed by a separate team at Imperial College London using a completely different telescope. And then, just like the first phosphine detection back in 2020, the 2024 announcement was quietly walked back by the wider community. Disputed in journals, buried beneath cautious follow-up papers that almost nobody read, but the original team still stands by it. So let me ask the question that mainstream science does not want to ask out loud anymore. What if Venus is not dead? What if something has been alive in those clouds for billions of years, silently watching every probe we ever sent to die there? In 2029, NASA is finally returning to Venus after 51 long years away. The mission is called Da Vinci, and it will find out. It will fall for over an hour, sampling gases, taking photographs as it descends through the burning acid clouds toward the surface. And it will look for one thing above everything else. It will look for whatever is producing the phosphine and the ammonia. Is there something alive on Venus? We will find out in 2031, 5 years from now. And whatever the answer is, we cannot unhear it. Whatever Da Vinci sends back in those final minutes before it melts will change everything we think we know about life in our solar system. If Da Vinci finds life, we will know we are not alone. It has been hiding right next door in plain sight this entire time. But there is another possibility, one that scientists do not like to discuss, that whatever is up there is not microbes at all. Tonight, when the sun sets, Venus will rise quietly in the western sky. She will hang there for a few hours, and then she will set. She has been doing this for 4 billion years, long before you were born, and she will keep doing it long after you are gone. When humanity is a memory, when the cities are dust, when the last person who ever spoke your name has been forgotten forever, Venus will still be there, still burning, still spinning the wrong way, still hiding something terrible in her acid clouds. A graveyard, floating silently in the dark, a planet that boiled itself alive and never stopped burning 4 billion years later, and the only other world in our solar system that might, somewhere in those endless acid clouds, still be alive tonight.